This is rebootED, the podcast where we talk about big ideas and issues in education and hardly ever come up with any answers. I'm Andrew Schwab, your co-host for today, and I am joined, as always, by Mike Vollmer. What's up, Mike?
Hey, everyone. Happy Sunday afternoon.
Oh, yes. May the 4th be with you. That's the most important thing about today, apparently. So we are excited. We have a special guest today who's going to talk to us about something Mike knows nothing about, so this should be good. Gaming and using gaming in education. So I'm going to introduce him today. How about that, Mike? I'm going to throw you for a loop.
There you go. Go for it.
So John Miller is joining us today, and John is a, let's see, is it social history teacher?
Right.
And teaches 7th grade currently.
Yes.
And has been using, for the last couple years, I think now, Minecraft in his classes. And I've seen you, well, welcome, first of all, to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
And I have seen a couple of your presentations now about Minecraft. You've come in and talked to my classes, my pre-service teachers. And so Minecraft seems to be something that is exploding. It's taking at least the Twitterverse by storm. And it seems to be a popular topic. And so I'm glad that you could join us today, and hopefully you can help us understand what it is and talk to us about it. Actually, help Mike understand what it is, because I already know, but
yes,
he needs all the help he can get. So
please help me understand how you're taking all the valuable instructional time away from kids and playing video games.
See, that's what I have to deal with on this show. That's a good thing right there.
Bring it.
So John, maybe you could start off with, just what is Minecraft if nobody's familiar with it or somebody hasn't heard about it. What is it exactly?
Okay, sure. Minecraft's a game that was developed, about 2009 or so, a few years ago. It's been most often described as kind of a Lego-like game where you can build anything you want, anything your imagination can come up with, and it developed a kind of a cult following very early on in an alpha version and almost a pre-alpha version. The developer, Marcus Persson, let it out on the internet and asked for people to comment on it to make it better, and he just kept making it better, and the whole time he's making it better, he's developing a foundation of users. And when it came out of beta, it just exploded in popularity, and it's been updated multiple times since then. And gosh, depending on who you talk to, if you count up the different versions of the game, it was generally considered a Mac, PC, Linux kind of a game. But there's Xbox versions and there's a Pocket Edition version. With that, there's 100 million, perhaps, registered users of the game, and the idea is really to you get dropped into a world that is unique. Every world that's created randomly is truly random, and it is endless, practically, in any direction you want to travel. And Minecraft has a day and a night cycle. 10 minutes of day and 10 minutes of night, and then 2 minutes of sunset and 2 minutes of sunrise. So you get in a rhythm, and the goal is to create. And if you play in one of the modes, that's called survival mode, then you're kind of forced to create things really quickly, because when the night comes, the monsters come out. And monsters can kill you or harm you. Like any good little video game, you have the potential to make weapons and defend yourself, but really the idea is to survive and then keep building, live for another day, and improve your lot in life. So that's the survival mode, and then you can play in what's called creative mode, which gives you all the blocks. You don't have to mine anything. It gives you an unlimited supply of everything in the game. and at that point, you can even fly. Nothing can harm you. Um, there's nothing absolutely to worry about. You can focus entirely on building structures from very simple things, underground, above ground, in the air, under the oceans, in the lakes, on the ice, wherever your mind can take you.
John, we've talked about this before, but I'm curious: is one mode more conducive to learning than the other, or is there a mode that you find yourself in more often than not for when kids are using it?
Yeah, I think beginning. I think we teachers tended to use the creative mode more because I think maybe some of it has to do with we're concerned with principals and the parents walking in and the kids are slashing zombies and killing things and how to explain that. So I think we tend to go in that mode first, and that's one mode actually that kids don't play as often, I think, because they do get used to the kind of the slashing and the killing part of it and the surviving.
And you mean don't play as often on their own, basically, because kids
Right.
are playing Minecraft all over the place, apparently.
Yeah, and if it's I've mentioned this before. If you're just playing by yourself in a single player mode, and Minecraft to me then definitely is a game, and it's fun. It's very addicting to play. But as soon as you get in there with other players, and especially people that you know, something else happens. It becomes this collaborative effort to do great things, to not only just to survive, but to make a bigger and better world, and you're challenging each other to do great things. And you're working together, but you're also then working independently because you're mining like crazy, trying to find these building materials that'll make your world even better. So I think that's attractive to teachers first. Is let's see what kids can do and teach us from that creative aspect. And for me, I really wanted to see that in my students too, because we've been how do we put it, kind of denying them some creativity in the classroom for quite a while, and seeing them enjoy themselves learning something is it's an absolute blast. I can't get enough of that, and it does take it is challenging for teachers to make a world in Minecraft that has the survival mode turned on, with which I'll talk about later. But we can I use a form of Minecraft called MinecraftEDU, and that lets teachers control the game to a great extent. So I can have survival mode turned on, but monsters turned off, so that they have to deal with the hardships of finding food, of hurting themselves, of the day and the night, the routine. So you can control that part of the game too, and that's where I think some real serious curriculum development is taking place.
So, from the standpoint of what you do, teaching history, I mean, I've seen on Twitter people are using this in terms of learning about global warming and environmental or ecological issues. I've seen your tweets where you talk about different periods of history. Are those worlds that you set up and then have the kids start exploring them, or do the kids build a world? Where does the history component come in?
Well, it's a little of both, actually. I've developed my own worlds, but I think one thing teachers, when they think about getting into this game, is that well, just like our students, I think we sometimes question our own creativity, right. And that, oh, I can't do that. I could never build something like that, and I just don't have the time. And well, perhaps, but you can start out really small, and you actually don't have to build really anything, because teachers are routinely sharing their worlds online for nothing. There's quite a catalog of lessons and really worlds that have go along with them. So I can use a lesson that a teacher somewhere else has used and import their world. It's just in a folder, and all you have to do is drag the folder into the right folder on your computer, and it opens up. You can also use what are called schematics that are available online for free as well, that other teachers or just Minecraft players create buildings, they create castles, they create entire civilizations, if you'd like, and there's a tool you can use in Minecraft that I think is analogous to just copying and pasting. You can copy what you've created and turn it into a file that you can share on the internet. So I've used that quite often. I'll find a medieval church. In the last project we did, I wanted the students to create medieval villages, and all I did was put a couple of roads in, and I put this medieval churchyard right at the intersection of the roads, and then the students had to do the research, and then they developed first on butcher paper the town, the village, laid it all out, and where would the agricultural fields be, and blacksmiths and all that, and then they jumped in and built the rest of it. So I didn't have to build anything, which was great to begin the project, but I get so enthused that I want to join the kids, and I do, and I get in there and start tinkering myself. That's one of the great joys. So it does work both ways. You could design your own world if you wanted to from scratch. You could design a world with help from students, and I've used that before. I have a few advanced students, and they'll come in and help me create something, plan something, and create something for my class. Or I'm doing one right now with some students that I'm giving them a challenge, which is I drop them into a medieval world, and I'm challenging them to create a lesson to use that world to modify as they wish, but then they have to create a lesson that teaches the Renaissance. And so they're building, and I'm monitoring. So the teacher's role becomes more of a scaffolding job in that sense.
A lot of elements of project-based learning and a more inquiry-oriented approach to the kids trying to learn these concepts and relate that than just reading it out of the history books.
Yeah, and that's my summer challenge to myself is get much more into the project-based learning. I've always been a fan of it, and I love doing longer-term activities with my kids that are provide more depth of understanding for them. I was a big fan of WebQuest and having the kids dive into those. And so I think a merging of that WebQuest model with Minecraft to create the PBL lessons is extraordinary, the potential.
So how much setup does it take to, like, you start off the beginning of the year and you have to teach kids the basics of Minecraft, or what does that look like in the mechanics of it in class?
At the yeah, I think I might be a little bit different from with the students that I teach. My kids are a little more isolated, and I teach in very southern Monterey County, and my kids are a long way away from any real big cities or major influences, except on television and popular media. So they had not really hooked themselves into Minecraft yet, and last year not at all. This year, maybe 10% of my kids had played Minecraft with again a small fraction of that, the 10% there were good at it and really good at it, but most had never played. They had heard it before. So I planned on that, and it involved a bit of just kind of open play and letting them build, and that's really all it took was here's an open area and let's learn how to build. And I worked my way up to the first project, which was in October, and that was a community build. We built this ancient Chinese city, and all of my students, I have 165 throughout the day, and they were all able to work on it because they self-assigned themselves to groups, and each group then had a block that they had to develop in the world. So that was their first major attempt at creating something in Minecraft that was on a large scale, and I was very impressed with their output. And so next year I'm anticipating, because I'm already our 6th grade is playing Minecraft now too. I have 2 classes in the 6th grade that are doing it, so I know I'm going to get a good number of Minecraft players, which is exciting because now I can start right from the get-go and start utilizing those kids to teach the others, and we'll be up to speed really quickly.
And I think I saw on your blog page, I believe, or maybe on your Google Plus page in your bio, you've got a classroom set of devices for the kids, so it's pretty much one-to-one. Every kid's got a device to do this on.
Yeah, I'm fortunate in that, well, kind of fortunate in a backhanded way. I had several computers. I was able to finally, about 4 years ago, put together enough by piecemeal computers into my classroom that every student had one, and that was after 17 years of teaching. And I cobbled this sort of computer lab in my classroom together of old computers and made them work.
Are these Linux-based or Windows-based?
Those were all Macs, and then I had it for about 3 months, and then over Thanksgiving holiday, my room got broken into and it got stolen.
Oh.
So it took about the rest of that school year, but we were able to replace them, and we replaced them with netbooks, and I've been very happy with them. We use UberMix on them.
Okay.
And so now Minecraft is running on these 3-year-old netbooks with UberMix on them, and people think Minecraft has to have this super powerful server, and you're gonna have the latest technology, and sure, that would be great, but it's not realistic in my case. And so I'm running it, and again I'm running MinecraftEDU, which includes a teacher tool that lets the teacher turn their classroom iMac. I have a 4-year-old classroom iMac, and it lets you turn that into a server. And so I'm just running a local network. We're not even really on the internet, and we just have an airport router, and I've had 32 kids on there at one time.
And that's kind of where I was going. We have a teacher at one of our middle schools who started this year, and he came to me and he said he needed a server, and I said, I don't think we have any servers, but we just took an old PC and we put Linux on it and set it up in his classroom. But now we've got other teachers at other schools. At some point, I'm going to have to scale this into a full-blown server, I think. Where's the cutoff point in terms of the number of users and that sort of thing?
Yeah, that's what we're at that point right now. I've originally had that idea of, okay, hopefully we can get a server here at some point, but I'll just try it in my class. And now that I've had it in my class a couple of years, and I've been persuaded at least a couple other teachers on my campus to get it, the licensing issue isn't a big deal, because with MinecraftEDU it's licensed by device, not by student. So we have enough licenses to cover that many simultaneous users we think we're going to have. So every teacher technically could have their teacher computer running as a server. Ideally, though, I think you do want it on a a more traditional.
Centralized, bigger.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, well, if you have every teacher running their own instance, then basically there's no way for cross collaboration between classes in worlds, right?
Exactly, and that's
the thing that the teachers have said is they'd like to have sort of some common worlds, and then kids from different schools could kind of collaborate and work in the same environment. And at that point, we're going to have to build out a more
Just
scaled
pull the trigger
system.
on a virtual server. You've got enough
Yes.
resources there, I'm sure. Just spin up. In fact, I think you can run it off of AWS or one of the online hosted cloud services if you really want to. Just depends on what you're looking to do and how you're looking to do it.
Yeah, we're even our mutual friend Chris Scott and I we do these Minecraft camps in the summertime, and we have one coming up that we're going to use the proceeds for to set up our own server, a hosted server online. And I was talking with another friend of ours, Randy Colsett, down in Orange County, and their district is going with 5 different servers. They would like to have one for each kind of content area, and that got me thinking about, my goodness, couldn't it be possible to put together kind of a consortium here of schools or districts or whatever that we could support that type of that level of collaboration statewide, where
Awesome.
where we have we were talking earlier about the California missions, and couldn't we create a server for every kid in California that wants to do a mission in
project or
Interesting,
early California history. Yeah.
I mean, traditionally that, county offices have usually taken the lead on kind of those statewide projects.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be interesting to see if it's a statewide consortium for Minecraft.
Yeah, because
Forget them. Let's just do it. I'm in. I know that.
I actually got to build a server anyway because we're going to start Minecraft at our middle schools, and I told them I'd spin up a server for them too. So we're looking to do that as well.
And that's where I'm coming from. So can you take different MinecraftEDU instances, like from your district, from my district? Can they cross-collaborate like that, or is there a licensing issue that we have to deal with?
As long as the server is running, you have a legal install on the server and you have the licensed install on all the clients, you're good to go. And the worlds then that you're playing in can be shared with one another as well. You just have to make sure that the version number is the same. And so it would have to be, okay, everybody, we're on this stable build right now, and that means the clients would have to be the same as the server. So if you just kind of did that routinely and twice a year or whatever, that could take care of it. I was floored, but I don't know if you saw the nation of Denmark created some geophysical organization there, used mapping data, satellite data to create a one-to-one scale model of Denmark in Minecraft, and it is 1 terabyte of data.
Wow.
It is massive, and they've made it available for ideally to. As soon as I saw it, I said, "My gosh, couldn't we get a California map, or at least counties in California, different maps on that kind of a scale, and then put it on a MinecraftEDU server, which keeps the Minecraft players out of it because you have to log in as a MinecraftEDU person, and they can be whitelisted too. So
you can whitelist domains and or account addresses
and keep control.
So then you could actually build out a one-to-one scale model of all the missions?
Yeah. And in by county even, because tasking somebody to create a one-to-one scale of California would be astonishing.
All the climbing spots?
There we go.
I'm getting selfish now, but um, how cool would that be?
Yeah, no.
Um,
Well,
the
and
data exists. We got to talk about that, John. I'm really intrigued about that. If we created a one-to-one scale map of a topographical map of California, um, anybody could play with it. You know, I mean, the science. Just thinking about what our science classes are doing in terms of studying the water cycle and droughts and what's going on in California, and seeing how water distribution is such a critical issue. There's tons of potential for that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's from from the perspective of a teacher. I could see using that, or anything even remotely like that. There's a somebody released a map, and the UK, a governmental organization, released one in the UK that was a scale, but it wasn't one-to-one. But on that level, that's something that high school kids could really get into, the modeling of the terrain,
Right.
and build localized geography for lots of places in California, and that these kids could actually then be building their worlds, their maps within a accurate representation of the Central Coast, of Los Angeles, of whatever it is they want to tackle.
yeah, it's fascinating. So
I got to learn more about this Minecraft stuff now.
I know it's a
really
video game though, Mike. You're going to be stretching yourself. Don't go too fast. You don't want to hurt yourself. So I guess a follow-up question is to getting started. So you basically purchase MinecraftEDU licensing, or is it a server and then licenses, or how do you buy it?
It has to be purchased by an educational institution, and it's MinecraftEDU.com, and you purchase it, and it is such a good deal. Whenever I speak at conferences, and I'm I don't work for MinecraftEDU, but sometimes I think I'm like this really good salesman for them, because I show everybody this is all the stuff you can do, and I can see people salivating about how much is it, I want to buy it. And then I hit them with the cost, and they don't believe it. The cost of Minecraft, if you wanted to purchase a Minecraft license, it's in euros. It's like $27.10, and that's a per user license, and that allows you to play Minecraft on any install, on any device around the world. It's just you authenticate with the server.
Is that per year, or is it one time?
One time.
Okay.
And so the people that make MinecraftEDU, the company's called Teacher Gaming, they approached Minecraft and said, there's a lot of teachers. This was like 2-3 years ago now. There are a lot of teachers that are using this, and it has tremendous potential for the classroom. Can we offer to sort of sell the licenses? Can you sell the licenses through us? And then we've created a modification that allows teachers to control aspects of the game. And Mojang said, terrific, great. So when you buy a license through MinecraftEDU, I mentioned earlier, you're actually buying it per device. You're not buying it per user. So the kids don't have to log in with their Minecraft accounts, and they get to sell them then at half price if you buy them in packs of 25. So it comes out to 13 something per device. So a computer lab of 25 is $335, and then you buy the teacher tool that turns your computer into a server if you want. It's got the server tool in there, and then lets you control dozens of aspects in the game. That is $41, and that's it.
Yeah.
So 335 plus 41.
I can tell you that it is insanely cheaper than Success Maker. So if we're going to put kids on computers with games, let's do this. It's cheaper.
Well, and one of the things that when I first saw John, when I first saw you talking about what you were doing with Minecraft, it was probably, I don't know, 6 months or a year ago. And we've had this discussion about kids not having enough time on computers for the new Common Core assessments that are coming out, the online assessments. And one of the concerns was navigation skills and just being able to move around the computer and scroll and do those types of things. And I was thinking that Minecraft, to me, even if it's an unstructured period or an unstructured time, if you put students in that environment, they're going to learn all those kind of basic skills for navigating and moving around and interacting with the computer. And it doesn't then become like another keyboarding class where, I'm sure we've all had that experience where we're thrilled to be typing for 45 minutes in a classroom. So can you talk about a little bit about go into some more detail about how you're actually using it in your classroom and what kids are doing and what you're finding works and maybe stuff that doesn't work?
Sure. Yeah. Gosh, glad to. With my students, I mentioned a bit earlier that I had to sort of train them in the use of Minecraft, and I've also had to train them or challenge them to express themselves more creatively and openly than they have in the past, and that's been a massive challenge for me because these poor guys they just sit there and wait for me, and I'm going to broaden the audience, say us as teachers, to give them what we want them to say, and they say it right back, and then we go
14 years of beating them into submission with CST tests will do that to somebody.
And it's also done it to teachers, because we have teachers that don't know how to teach any way other than that, and it breaks my heart. And so that has been a massive challenge. That it's okay to go through and make mistakes here and dive in and have actually fun. Don't feel guilty that you're laughing and you're having a good time, and create something really cool that you want to share. That's been a big part of it, to get the buy-in with the kids, is that through my network I've been able to share their work online, and they're not that sophisticated yet. They know about online and social media and things, but their social media exists for only about the boundaries of our city. They really don't know about the rest of the internet. And so they were shocked that other people were liking and commenting on their work, and that I did make videos and share them, and they were getting feedback. And so that's having that connection of what I've just created and spent these last few days creating is now out there, and people are seeing it and letting me know how good it is. That process has been really slow, delicate, but it's definitely been building up to the point where now I'm anxious to share what my more advanced students have been able to create. So it's all year I've been dealing with this level of activity with super kids that have 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade levels of understanding, but also kids that are way down in 2nd or 3rd grade reading and writing levels, and that's been really hard to differentiate. We've been told differentiate. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. And I can do it when it's like that. But when you've got kids that are 2nd to 12th grade levels in the same class, with kids that don't have the right language skills, with kids that are just coming from Mexico, it's an extraordinary task. So that's where I'm most challenged at this year, is trying to find a happy medium, but also get something to let the higher kids really go for it. So the writing, I think, plays a lot into that. We blog. I have the students put their writing into Minecraft. MinecraftEDU has special blocks, and one of them is called an info block, and it's just it's a big giant block that's a piece of paper, and the kids can type on it. So they can tell me who's inside this building that just created for the Chinese capital city project we did. They had to build a building, and then they had to do the research and tell me who lives there and what their occupation is and what their names are and what do they do in the city in their leisure time and things like that. And this last project then, I love using the Google Docs with the kids, so they created a slideshow, and then they embedded, and this is awesome, you can embed a link on an info block as long as it's the short link, and when kids click on the link in Minecraft, it opens up the browser and takes them right to the slideshow that the kids make, or the video. And some kids made video, give a video tour like a realtor of their medieval property that they created. And so that's what I've been using primarily to help cope with the huge range of abilities with my kids. Well, of course, everybody has to read and write, but many of my kids, the emphasis has to be on that first. So I've had to shift some of my thinking and some of my lesson design to front load the writing a lot more. I anticipated the writing to come along as they're building because I wanted to be very reflective. I wanted to see what they were thinking about in that design process and how the build is going for them. But many of the kids, they couldn't do that. They just weren't comfortable. Getting them to write a paragraph was like fantastic, but it might take a week or more to get that far, to get a good solid paragraph. So it's yeah, long answer, but that's my that's kind of my design this year was to emphasize that writing component and to do summative projects so that the kids have enough information that it's easier for them at the end to produce something. But next year it's going to be that PBL thing where it's going to be building all the way through, and so I got a lot more places, a lot more checkpoints to see how they're doing and make it a lot more authentic, I think, that way.
So through the course of a year, you're teaching what, like medieval history? Is it? Yeah. What do you teach in the 7th grade?
It's medieval world history, medieval and then into the Renaissance, and it's China, it's Japan, it's Islam, it's West Africa, and then Europe.
So do you see creating a world for each one of those periods, or each one of those sections of the curriculum, and then using that with projects that kind of flow through with all the, I hate to use the word standards, but you know, the elements that we want the kids to kind of walk out of that year experiencing? I mean, there's a certain knowledge base we want to expose them to. So are you foreseeing, like, spend some time in Japan and build this up and then reflect on it and share out, you know, some demonstration of grasping the concepts of what was significant during that period of history? How does that play out for you? Yeah,
that's what I envisioned this year when I began, was to create individual worlds that fit each, well, unit, I guess, for I describe it as. But then when I didn't take long before I saw the range of students I had, and so I had to modify it a bit. Also, I did it that way because with Minecraft, as we were talking about the server, the Minecraft world is created for you, but it only appears and is rendered as you approach it. So as you're moving, you see the world rendering in front of you. So if you just keep your map in one central location and you don't really wander around too far, it doesn't tax the server very much. But as soon as you start building out and your kids start going out in all directions, and remember, it's basically unlimited, the distance you can go in any direction, then yeah, you really need a proper server for that to handle it. So that was why I originally thought I was just going to do units. I'd love to now. We should have our server up and running at our school. What schools do generally is they, when there are multiple classes using it, you start in one place, and you can think of it as like a library, and the kids spawn there. That's the term used when you first appear in Minecraft. And once they spawn, then they go off down this corridor, and that leads them to a teleport station, which as soon as they step on the block, they're teleported to Mr. Miller's world. And they go down another hallway, and they're teleported to Mr. Harrison's world, and another one, Miss Judd's world, and so on. So that way, your kids will always, theoretically, go where they're supposed to go and wind up in kind of localized areas, so that the server doesn't have to keep rendering this giant world every time the kids pop in. And there's other ways too that schools use it. There are mods for Minecraft, and a mod simply means that it's another thing, a brilliant thing that Mojang did was they released Minecraft and let people, hey, go ahead and modify this. So the regular game of Minecraft is referred to as vanilla Minecraft, and then teachers and anybody can use mods that others have created, this community of programmers have created, and it's all in Java. So they just kind of overlay, or they're plugins that change the look, change the mechanics of the game in some aspect, that make it more science-focused. There's computer programming. I just saw participated in a computer programming play session that was extraordinary, that's just going to come out here this summer, teaching kids computer programming in Minecraft. So there's a mod called Mistcraft that's named after the game from the 90s, Myst.
No, yeah, right.
That was
90s.
Yeah, that was. I love playing it because you never knew, it was just the choose your own adventure kind of thing, and it was weird. Well, in Mistcraft, you spawn into a library, but there's different books, and the books there will take you to a different age. So it doesn't even have to be a regular Minecraft world. It can be something out of science fiction and fantasy, and so that's another way to control large numbers of students or classes visiting one location at the same time. They each get sent off to their particular world.
Man, it's been that long since Myst came out.
Yeah. They're creating a new game. The folks that Myst, and it was on a Kickstarter, and I supported them. I can't wait for it. It's coming out 2015.
Interesting. So, from your classroom perspective, what's next? What do you want to do next? Like next year? So you've gone through this year. You've seen what's worked and what doesn't, what hasn't. Where are you going next with Minecraft?
I'm looking forward to this summer so I can dive into the mods a lot more, because the mods will let you turn over a lot of the kind of that gamification part of Minecraft, or gamification that is hard for teachers to wrap their brains around, the stuff that requires us to track kids, and okay, I'm going to award them things, that's great, but that means I've got to find some way to make sure that they've earned it, and leveling up, and I love that idea of gamification. I try to use it in my class as much as possible, but with 165 kids, man, it is really tough to track that. But with Minecraft, there are ways to do that, and that kids will level up automatically. There's a great mod called custom NPCs, and meaning non-player characters. And so the teacher, I can give the power to the kids. They can create other characters that will appear inside of Minecraft. There are monsters and things that spawn kind of randomly, and villagers and animals. But with custom NPCs, you can actually control who and what gets spawned, when and where, and then what they do. And they'll actually speak to your characters. It says right now it's through text in a text chat, but that leads to really quest-based learning. The kids can spawn at some point, some desert town you want them. We do Timbuktu in West Africa, and they can go and talk to the old man, and the old man will give them a quest to come and learn about trade and discover trade routes, and then they have to come back and explain and bring back their items that they found along the way. And so then along the way, you have other non-player characters that the kids meet, and they learn from them, who give them more quests. And when they bring back a product, they're given rewards. So they're given coins, or they're given food, or they're given whatever you want them to give them. So that is extraordinarily exciting, because I could see it becoming almost my entire curriculum really could be put into Minecraft, and just
they could stumble into all the historical characters that they would sort of read about in a history book, but
yes,
in a way that's a lot more interactive and
absolutely.
Yeah,
and that's where that collaborative part with teachers can come into play too, because putting something together like that by myself will take a lot of time and energy, but get me together with some other 7th grade teaching Minecraft teachers, and man, we're going to make a world that's going to blow these kids away.
Yeah.
So what have you seen in terms of the kids? How have they responded to this? And steer that answer towards what they've learned. Is it, in your estimation, has it made a positive impact on how they've grasped the curriculum and learned what it is you wanted them to learn?
Yeah, I think because I've been using these primarily as more of a summative reflection for these guys, I spend a lot of time role playing with the kids too, to try to get them out of their shell, and I want, because they can't write very well, and because they can't necessarily speak very well and read very well, I'm very open to them giving me feedback about their projects and their assignments any way possible. Right. And so I love to chat with them too. And that, I think, is one aspect, and that's one thing in Common Core that I think a lot of us have missed or aren't really focusing on, is that there's a listening and speaking component too, which I'm super excited about, because it's incredibly important for these guys. And that I really wasn't prepared for using Minecraft for the response from the kids, because they are completely engaged when they're playing this game, when they're building, when they're visualizing, when they're talking about spring planted fields versus a fall planted fields versus the fallow fields, and why there has to be a difference in how they're going to make them look like they have crops in them, or they don't have crops in them, or they haven't had crops in them for a while, how they're going to try to design these grass huts, the homes that these people are making. How are they going to build this village when they didn't have creative mode when we were building our medieval village, so they couldn't fly. When you can fly, building is really easy. You can hover over and just bam, 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 drop blocks, and you can build something 100 stories tall easily. But when you can't fly, you have to figure out, how can I get up and make a roof? Because you'll fall, and you can't get up there without making yourself a ladder, and that has to be built and crafted. So these guys throughout this process, they're getting a they're getting my entire lesson of what it would be like. This is what I wanted to learn. What was it like to live in the Middle Ages in a remote little village, and you had that social structure that was tightly controlled, that you had a few nobles and that had everything, and the clergy and their local church ran things, yet you had a common area where you were meeting. You had to make your own food, but you had to grow food for the Lord. And they're talking about this as they're building it, and my job at that point is just to kind of hover. And I've been astonished at each time I reach that portion of the build, when I'm finally just say, it's all yours, you guys, and I'll be here to kind of answer any technical questions you might have. That part of learning is exhibited in Minecraft far better than anything else I've ever done. Hearing the kids talk about it, interact with each other, and actually having a real discussion about the medieval life, but then also the technical stuff too. How come this isn't showing up, and how come I can't see you over there? I have to log out, log back in. They're learning the technical side and aspects of the computer they're using. They're learning the writing, because they've got to do that to get into Minecraft and finish that, so they're fine-tuning it. And then that verbal part, the oral part, that I love, and listening to them is wonderful as a teacher. How many experiences I've had in the last few years where kids have been excited to talk about amongst themselves, to talk about the material that that we've covered. It's just it's mind-boggling.
Yeah. And so for a teacher, or maybe an old tech director that's not too familiar with this, to learn how to get involved in this and implement it in their classroom, where do they go?
I think the first thing, you need to have a little bit of background in Minecraft, and so if I don't think, not saying that teachers have to go out and get a Minecraft license for themselves, but if they have children, their children probably already have a Minecraft license. And if you just sit and play and observe and ask.
So basically ask a kid, huh?
Yeah.
Go find a kid and have them teach you how.
That's it. And play alongside, and you'll be astonished at what a 6, 7, 8-year-old child can do and knows. I think Minecraft it's the #1 or very close to the most often searched term on YouTube. There are more videos on Minecraft than anything else, because these kids are so excited about sharing, and the biggest YouTube stars are Minecraft players. And they have these cult followings of hundreds of thousands of people, because everybody wants to know the latest and the creative things, and they want to collaborate together. So there's plenty online and not just teachers, but there's plenty of things on YouTube that will also give you a little extra background. But you definitely have to play a bit. And if it can be under the guidance of a kid, that's even better.
Well, John, I got to ask you about the camps that you mentioned earlier in the show, because that may be another place to start if you don't happen to have a kid around who can play Minecraft. And I've seen these pop up. So what's going on with these summer camps? They seem to be happening all over the place now.
Yeah. What Chris and I and Joe Donahue started, we had a very friendly IT guy in Cambria that we worked with, and we were both excited about MinecraftEDU, and we said, hey, how about we put on a Minecraft camp, because we saw there was a guy in Australia that was doing them, and we contacted the guy in Australia, and he was excited to tell us about it, and so we did the same thing, and the idea was to get teachers and students playing Minecraft in a 2-day camp. So we teach the teachers how to use MinecraftEDU while the students are playing MinecraftEDU. So we're demonstrating, here's what you can do, and look what these kids can do. And the teachers are learning at the same time, and then we give the teachers the pedagogy behind it and show them how to make their own lessons and connect them with other teachers around the world that are doing it. And it's a fun atmosphere. We play in creative and survival mode, and so everybody gets a good perspective on the game, and it's been great fun. And I originally kind of envisioned, gosh, there's a lot of teachers out there that would want to learn how to use Minecraft in their class, and this would be a great way to do it. And then this year we started getting inquiries from schools, entire schools, and in a couple of cases, entire school districts that want to, since they're, and I should have already thought of this, it's just a logical extension, since we're purchasing MinecraftEDU and we're putting it in our school, it's a computer lab, why are we just training one teacher on it? Why don't we train every teacher on it? Or in this case, offer it as a workshop to every teacher in the district. And because that entry point cost is so low, and once you've bought the program and you've got it in a lab or you got it on your mobile carts or whatever it is, yeah, let's do it. So now it's starting to move in that direction of, yeah, let's just train everybody.
Everybody. Well, cool. So if a teacher wanted to attend a camp this summer, where can they check for those?
Yeah, we have a website. It's MinecrafterCamp.com, and we have one coming up in Cambria, here on the Central Coast, and that's in late June.
Yep.
So
I think we're sending our Minecraft teacher to go check that out. Okay, and people can find you on Twitter at Room162. So definitely follow John. You want to know more about Minecraft, and you've brought up a couple other folks. C. Scotsy is how I remember him. So he's at C. Scott. What's his Twitter handle? I should remember that. Yeah, C. Scotsy. And I don't know what Joe Donahue's is, but I'm following him.
Well, also, John, I've looked at your blog at, is it EdTechWorks?
Yeah,
you've got
that's kind of the homepage.
Really cool stuff there too.
And then Minecraft.edtechworks.com is my Minecraft stuff.
So John is all over the internet talking about Minecraft. Probably just Google John Miller and Minecraft, and you will find all this stuff. That's how we do things these days. You can find me. You can find me at anotherschwab.com. This podcast will be up at rebootedpodcast.com sometime when I get around to posting it. And Mike, you're on Twitter at Volmert805.
I am on Twitter.
And you occasionally blog for your district somewhere.
I'm not blogging on the district anymore. I've decided to press out on my own. So
okay, have you got that up? You don't have that up yet.
I'm working on it.
Well, John, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on and talking Minecraft with us. Very hot topic at the moment. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And this has been another Reboot Ed. And join us sometime in the future for, I don't know who's going to be on next. But I'm Andrew Schwab, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.